Okay guys, lately I know there's probably a lot of K-pop music that I haven't been up to date with, but these days, I'm kind of a little busy and trying to do, stuff outside of reactions, stuff like that. But I haven't been really pumped for like a long time for music, to be honest. But Epik just recently released their album, which is I think is called Epik is Here Part 1. So, and if you guys are into like old Korean, like old school Korean hip hop, or back in the days, or that matter, I'm sure you guys heard of Epic High, or maybe even fans of them. And oh man, I think it's been 2 years now. Last year, 2020, seems like a blur. I'm sure many of you can relate as well, but I think the year before 2019, and they came to San Francisco, and I actually went with my cousin. She's also a really big Epic High fan, and I did not regret going to a live Epic High concert. They really gave out a great performance. So fortunately, if you guys were fortunate enough to check out Epic High, please feel free to comment down below. What are some of your favorite songs, and then what are some of your experiences going to the live concert? I had a blast. I don't know about you guys, but nonetheless, I believe Epic High came out with 3 music videos, I think, as of this point in time, and there's like 10 songs on the album, really, I believe. So we'll be checking them all out. But the first one that we'll be checking out is Epic High Lesson 0, and this is the official visualizer. Like a lot of music videos always have like this visualizers. I guess it's like a fancy word for, I don't know, it's like somewhat like a music video, but it's like not at the same time. But let's get into it. Lesson 0. Oh, it's starting off these nice soothing piano chords here. It's probably gonna be a very sentimental song here. It's been a while, Epic High. I suppose I have English subtitles, but I don't know why it's not working. But let me just turn it off here, it's kind of distracting. I believe this is English. It's kind of hard to understand since they kind of pitched the voice up.
They teach you to heed the word of a God who has never spoken. To fear breaking the
law
when it's
preach.
Already broken. That to feel is to be weak, to suppress emotion. So no one sees you at a heart till your chest is open. They got you hating who you are to sell you pills and fiction. Reaching for the stars when you were born up there with them. Addicted to the news, views, superstitions. To keep the visionaries glued to their televisions.
Ooh,
they want you busy stepping to the right side of history. To keep you from the inside of history. Give everyone a voice, but leash them with the mic cord. Feed you things to fight about instead of things to fight for. Teach you everything you want, but nothing you need. That everything's got a price and nothing is free. They'll turn everything to nothing. They make you believe that everything is under control and there's nothing to see. No more lessons, please take me back to 0. No more teachers, no more prophets, no more heroes. No more lessons, please. Now I see the question to all answers will only bring me to my knees and back to 0.
Is that it? Damn, I know this was a short song. It's like 2 minutes and something. Okay, supposedly, let's check out the intro. There's not much to go over, but it was in English, but it's kind of hard to understand since it was quite pitched up. Supposedly, I guess Haley Jean Penner sang the intro, and she says, or he, I'm not sure, face your shadow, then you follow it, and etc. I have to like and fade away, face your shadow, then follow these. It's pretty much reiterating or conveying to me at least about facing your fears and stuff of that nature. Okay guys, wow. When Tabla's verse came in, even though the song was quite short, he was spitting true facts, bro. I don't know how to say it, but he says quite some prolific lines here that really stick with me. So in the first opening line says, he says, they teach you to heed the word of a God who has never spoken, right? The topic of a religion, it's a touchy subject for many, and I always, other people have their own religions, respect what they believe in. Even if you may not particularly believe in it, there's no reason for you to hate on that religion or that people, right? Let them, be happy and believe what they believe in. And then the second line here, to fear breaking the law when it's already broken, right? definitely in America these days, you see, the horrific events that have transpired, definitely in 2020, and then earlier in 2021 as well, due to protests and stuff like that. Definitely, the law has been broken so many times, but people need to be held accountable before and take responsibility. So there definitely needs to be some penalties struck on them as well. They can't just get away scot-free, is what I'm saying. And then Tablo also says that to feel is to be weak, to suppress emotion, right? Definitely a sign of weakness is being vulnerable and open about your emotions. That's what people think. So a lot of people, sometimes like me, I do this as well, keep their emotions inside, bottled up, which isn't the healthiest thing to do. And then Tablo also, we're going to go through almost every line here. These lines are tough. And then he says, so no one sees you had a heart till your chest is open, right? Definitely, people on the outside, or how people view you may tend to be different than actually how you view yourself. From the other person's perspective, they may think that you have, I don't know how to say it, a resting bitch face. Sometimes there's people who have that. There's nothing. People can't do that. That's how they just look when they're just chilling, right? So they may be intimidated, and also these, if you don't outwardly show your expressions quite frequently, or you kind of have a stone demeanor, then people may have a different view of who you actually are. And then he also says they got you hating who you are to sell your pills and fictions. Okay, I'm not sure to sell your pills and fictions. I'm not quite sure. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense. Definitely the term and theme keeps coming back in many songs. The theme of loving yourself definitely comes first, when you should love yourself before you should love others, right? In that sense, I'm not quite sure of to sell you pills and fictions. I'm not sure what he really refers to that. Maybe yeah, I'm not quite sure. Please, if anyone knows, please elaborate for me. And then right here, let's go for another line. Tablo says, addicted to the news, views, superstitions, to keep the visionaries glued to the televisions. Definitely. Okay, if you're like me, I'm currently in the US. The power of a president, ex-president, I should say, Trump has I don't know how else to say it. He kind of led all these events, what happened to now, right? The riots, making people believe these fake news and causing them to cause a stir in the society. And if he didn't, and then he actually is quite vocal on social media, Twitter and stuff like that. And pretty much he has no filter. He says whatever he says. And there's a lot of people who actually believe every little thing that he says. And most of whatever he says is completely false. So it's quite unfortunate that there are people quite gullible out there, to say so the least. And then Tablo also says, this is kind of what I was referring to about Trump as well. Give everyone a voice, but leash them with the mic cord. Feed you things to fight about instead of things to fight for, right? In America, I feel like the freedom of speech should be, there should be a freedom of speech in the US. At least the US, compared to other countries, don't get me wrong, we have too many freedoms, to be honest. And that's why people just stormed into the Capitol. That should not ever be the case. And then unfortunately some people lost their lives, but they have to set an example, otherwise people will continue to break the law and do as they please. So if there's no precedent, then people will continue doing whatever they want. But definitely freedom of speech, there should be things that should not be said. Honestly, you can't just put things out into the universe and then it has a big impact on people in the wrong way, at least. And then Tablo actually says, teach you everything you want but nothing you need, that everything's got a price and nothing is free. Definitely, I mean, teaching in the terms of teaching, there's information, definitely in school I can relate. You may need to know certain concepts maybe later down in the future for your career or whatnot, but honestly, after going through a college education and everything before that as well, it depends what career you're basically doing. If in this terms of a medical or law degree or whatnot, you definitely need to know these concepts. But as for me, I'm a business major. Yeah, most of the concepts you don't really need. after coming out of college, to be honest. So I feel like, learning is definitely teaching yourself and learning is something that you should continuously doing further down the line, even after your education, right? There's always so much to learn and so much to see as well. And then Tableau also says that everything's got a price and nothing is free, right? Definitely, this can really mean anything, right? To get something, you have to give up something. It's kind of like this cycle. I'm sure you guys heard this saying so many times. Then he says they'll turn everything to nothing to make you believe that everything is under control and there's nothing to see, right? Definitely, some people may tend to shove things on the carpet and really hold everything in, like I mentioned before. And that's kind of what I come to mind when looking at this line as well. And then lesson 0, hence the name of the title. Tableau says, no more lessons, please take me back to 0. No more teachers, no more prophets, no more heroes. No more lessons, please now. I see the question to all the answers will only bring me to my knees and back to 0, right? I think I might interpret this differently, so feel free to comment down below if I'm interpreting this line differently. Okay, I'm not quite sure what this line is. Maybe so maybe Tableau is saying that these freedoms and whatever in this world, in this current climate, there's too many things going on. People shouldn't have that much power. They shouldn't be entitled because they have a certain occupation under their name, whether it be a teacher, preacher, prophet, etc. Because at the end of the day, everyone's just human, and even though they may be slightly more educated, it doesn't mean that everything they say is quite true. So I think he's trying to try to tell people to humble themselves and not go back to 0 and try to learn for yourself and teach yourself. And you don't have to take what everyone else says to be completely true. How you live your life and what moral values you stick by, you pick apart and choose what values really matter the most to you. So I'm not quite sure what that means exactly. This is all these lines that Tableau says is quite prolific and definitely pertains to the current climate of the world today. So nonetheless, guys, I know it went on and on. It took me quite a while to dissect these lines, but nonetheless, we'll be checking out the rest of Epikhai's album. I hope you guys stick around for that as well. And please feel free to comment down below. The last couple lines here, I probably misinterpreted it, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So nonetheless, we'll be checking out the other songs, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.